The Weaver of Stars. In the quiet village of Oakhaven, where the mist always lingered, lived a girl named Alara. She spent her days in the Great Hall, staring at the Weaver of Stars, a legendary loom that had been silent for 100 years. The villagers whispered that the loom was broken, but Alara believed it was simply waiting. Alara wanted to weave more than just wool. She wanted to weave the light of the morning. But every time she tried, the threads snapped, and the patterns turned into a messy, gray tangle on the floor. She felt as though her hands were too clumsy, and the task was too great for someone so small. Watching from the shadows of the arched doorway was Silas, the last of the old weavers. He had seen many give up on the great loom over the years. He saw her frustration, the way her shoulders slumped, and the way she looked at her hands as if they had betrayed her. Silas stepped forward and placed his hand over hers, steadying her shaking fingers. "The loom does not speak to those who hurry," he whispered. "It only listens to those who are willing to fail 1,000 times before the first golden thread appears. Growth is not a sprint, it is a slow, steady pulse." For weeks, Alara practiced in the cold silence of the hall. Her fingers grew sore, and her eyes grew weary. Many nights she sat alone, tempted to walk away and leave the loom to the dust. The mist outside the windows seemed to mock her slow progress. When the winter storms howled outside, Silas brought her a warm drink and sat by the fire. He didn't offer to do the work for her, nor did he tell her it would be easy. He simply reminded her that every knotted thread was a lesson the loom was teaching her about patience. Then, one morning, a miracle happened. As Alara passed the shuttle through the warp with a steady, practiced hand, a tiny spark flickered. It wasn't gray or dull anymore. It was a thin, shimmering line of pure, radiant gold that seemed to hum with life. Alara didn't stop to celebrate for long. She moved with a new rhythm, her movements fluid and sure. She wasn't just working, she was growing alongside the tapestry. Her confidence strengthened with every inch of fabric, and the shadows of the hall began to retreat. The tapestry was finally finished, a breathtaking map of stars and dawn that filled the entire hall with warmth and light. Alara stood before it, realizing that she had not just fixed the loom, she had transformed herself into a master through the very struggles she once feared. Years later, the mist over Oakhaven had cleared, chased away by the light of the weavers. A young boy named Kale stood where Alara once had, looking at a small practice loom. Alara sat beside him, patient and kind, showing him that the secret to greatness wasn't in the hands, but in the heart that refuses to quit.